It's a fear many aspiring debut authors have. No publisher will offer you a book deal unless you have a huge social media following or are a celebrity of some kind. But does this fear have any basis in reality? We finally have an answer to this burning question, because publishing industry expert Jane Friedman did a deep dive into what types of authors were getting debut book deals with traditional publishers, in the interest of answering the question, do debut novelists need large platforms to get book deals? And let me tell you, I found her findings incredibly surprising and interesting. I'm personally incredibly passionate about empowering debut authors. In fact, most of the authors I work with in my book editing business are debut novelists. So I was super eager to dive into Jane's report, and I feel it is essential knowledge for any aspiring debut novelist. Let's dive in. In her publishing industry newsletter, The Hot Sheet, Jane created a chart showing different types of debut authors that got traditional book deals as reported in Publishers Marketplace over the past 5 months. It's important to note that the data that is reflected in the chart only reflects the deals that were published in Publishers Marketplace during the given time frame of 5 months within the debut fiction category, but it does give us an interesting cross-section. And as I mentioned, it seems that Jane was going into this research with the interest of either proving or disproving the claim that debut novelists need large platforms to get traditional book publishing deals. So here's the chart and the caption that Jane posted on Instagram. Alarmist articles in recent years have claimed that novelists, in order to land a traditional publishing deal, need to be online superstars. But my analysis of debut deals in Publishers Marketplace shows that that's outright false. While it is true that most authors who land deals, especially agented deals, the majority of those reported to PM, have some visibility within or connections to the traditional publishing community, it's rarely online visibility. The following analysis looks at the approximately 150 debut fiction deals reported to Publishers Marketplace between April and August 2024. After excluding debuts from established nonfiction authors and established authors in other countries, plus deals for North America made by UK publishers, 131 deals remain for analysis. These deals fell into 7 distinct categories. Let me read through the categories now in order of their percentages in the chart. Literary and university community, no obvious connections, journalist and media community, TV, film, stage, entertainment, publishing industry types, self-publishing authors, and online creator or influencer. She goes on to say, one category, no obvious connections, means the person didn't appear to have an MFA degree, wasn't actively publishing, didn't have awards or grants, didn't work in the publishing industry or media industry, and did not have any notable online presence that would have led to a book deal. So as we can see at a glance in this chart, the smallest sliver of the pie is online creators or influencers. So based on this chart, that's really a negligible category in terms of who is getting debut fiction book deals with traditional publishers. Really, the biggest segment, 37.8%, are going to novelists who have some connection to the literary or university community, followed by those with no connection at all. In fact, those with no connection at all to the literary, publishing, or media industries made up 20.5%, which makes up 1/5 of all debut fiction deals. Jane actually published a follow-up post detailing in more specificity what it entailed for an author to fall into the no obvious connection category. So let me read that. In terms of this specific analysis, no obvious connections means no clear published work or visibility in the writing and publishing community, no professional writing and publishing experience or media experience, no degrees, awards, residencies, fellowships, no relationships that might give them preferential treatment, at least public ones, no online presence or following that would draw agent or publisher interest. Most writers who land book deals do demonstrate some commitment to writing, often through degrees or publication, no matter how small, and various literary endeavors. Writers with no obvious connections tends to include people who work in other professions and aren't pursuing writing full-time, lawyers, doctors, real estate agents, contractors, service people, etc., may primarily take care of children or family members and don't have time to participate in the writing and publishing community. People who are retired or otherwise have no need to work a paying job simply stay offline and remain very private. I used no obvious connections as shorthand for I would not have guessed this person would have landed a book deal. In all other categories, professional/published writing is a clear goal. So with all of this in mind, let's set the record clear once and for all. You do not have to have a huge social media following to get a traditional book deal as a debut novelist. This is something I've said time and time again on this channel and elsewhere. And finally, we now have data to back it up. That said, one way to read this chart would be to look at those large sections of the pie and conclude that the majority, 74.8% to be exact, of debut novelist deals did go to people who had some connection to the literary, media, or entertainment industries. So I could see how that could maybe feel discouraging to an author who has none of those connections of any kind. But if you fall into this category, I don't want you to feel discouraged, because the second biggest category here is authors who have no obvious connections. That said, if you are highly concerned about putting yourself in the best possible position to get a traditional publishing deal, then perhaps instead of focusing on how to build an online presence, focus more on ways to join a literary community of some kind. The good news is that anyone can become a part of the literary community, no matter your degree or background. There's no specific barrier to entry. It's not necessary for you to get a job in book publishing or enroll in an MFA program, unless of course you want to. You can become a member of the literary community by attending workshops and writing events or conferences, by taking a course online or in your community, and by publishing your work, whether it's personal essays or journalistic articles or short fiction. So the jump between no obvious connection and literary and university community isn't as big as you might think. Remember, if you don't have the time to engage in the literary or publishing community at all, that's perfectly fine as well. And it doesn't mean that you are excluded from getting a traditional publishing deal. So if you're a debut author watching this, drop me a comment letting me know which category you fall into. And also let me know how this chart made you feel about your publishing chances. And if you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all of my publishing industry insights. I publish a new video every single week. And if you have a current work in progress that you're looking to strengthen, check out my free resource for novelists in the description below. It's called my Story Self-Assessment Worksheet. It's designed to help you look at your story and identify the weak points to take it to the next level on the next draft. Downloading that's also going to opt you into my exclusive newsletter, Chapter Break, where I'm dishing out tips from best-selling authors, established literary agents, and my own experiences as a developmental book editor. The link to check out Chapter Break is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next week. Happy writing!